Today I am bringing you a video that is packed full of Christmas decor DIYs and inspiration that I am just super excited to share with you guys. It is so much fun and a perfect way to kick off this Christmas season. Hey sweet friends, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Katelyn and I love making beautiful home decor projects that you would actually be proud to display in your home. I try to make all of my projects budget friendly, but yet, like I said, try to make them look like they are not dollar store DIYs. So I really hope you guys enjoy this video. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. It really helps my channel to grow. Make sure you are subscribed because I'm going to be cranking out a ton of Christmas DIYs soon that you don't want to miss. To begin this first project, I'm using a couple different signs from Dollar Tree. I found this little snowman head with the hat that I thought was adorable, and I was dying to make this into a snowman that had like a body. So I found that circular ornament sign at Dollar Tree and I just flipped it backwards, and I'm going to go ahead and paint that white so that I can make this look like a whole piece. But I did want to fix up his face, so it had some little foam pieces on there, so I removed the nose and then sanded down the glitter and went ahead and painted that white as well so that I could repaint the face to look like it is a little bit nicer quality.
It's just gonna be you and me, hang by the fire and chill. Isn't this how it's supposed to be? Making our Christmas memories. Oh, and I've been longing to hold you close, forget about everyone else. Isn't this how it's supposed to be?
As you can see here, that little head, especially with the scarf that sticks out on the edges, fits perfect on this circle for the body. So they just fit together so nice, and it does cover up the top of the ornament, so you don't have to worry about that. I hot glued those together, and then I wanted to paint a cute little face, so I'm starting with just some basic circles, added some eyelashes, and then you can always just paint your eyes black and then add in little white dots for the lights in the eyes. But I like to go ahead whenever I have a nice white background, go ahead and just circle those out and fill in around them so I don't have to add white paint on top of it. And then I did leave him little whites in the sides of his eyes and then painted on a crooked little orange nose.
Making our Christmas memories. I've been wrapping presents for you.
Snowmen are so fun to craft with for Christmas because their faces are so easy. Anyone can just draw the little black eyes. You don't have to make them fancy or anything. And then you can just paint the scarf if you want to, but I chose to use this nice wide ribbon from Hobby Lobby. I just wrapped some around his neck and then tied a little knot so it looked like it was a real scarf hanging down, and then bunched it up and tacked it down in the center. So it did look like it was kind of curving with his face. And then I wanted some big, nice black buttons, but I could not find any, so I'm using these colorful buttons from Dollar Tree. They had these large sizes, and I go ahead and paint those black.
So you should come back home to me. And when we wake up in the morning, I'm gonna play those carols that you love. We'll be singing all the melodies until the sun comes.
To give him just a tiny bit of rosy cheeks, I take a wide brush and just barely dot on some light pink paint and then hot glue down his buttons. Believe me, I know that door hangers can be super pricey, so whenever you can put pieces like this and make a larger hanger, this would be so adorable on a door or hanging on the wall, and it only costs a few bucks. Next up, I'm using one of these small canvases from Dollar Tree. This is a 4x6, and it is a tiny little wood frame. Whenever you remove the canvas piece, I like to take a utility knife and cut away all of the canvas by turning that around. I don't like to remove the staples. I just feel like it's really time consuming, but some people do that. But this is just a natural wood frame that has so much potential. I wanted to make like some large ornaments for my tree that looked farmhouse, so this is perfect for that. You can lightly cover this with the brown. I decided to go ahead and paint it solid brown so it is darker and then distress it, but you could paint these gray or white, and then adding distressing or sanding these down makes them just beautiful and look rustic. Perfect for farmhouse Christmas or rustic Christmas. But I wanted something to go inside, and I just looked out and saw this canvas at Dollar Tree and knew that that family looks so beautiful inside. It almost kind of looks like Ray Dunn font. So I lay that right on there and kind of trace over it so I know where to cut, and then I can glue this in the back, and it instantly just frames up this beautiful little decor piece to make an ornament. If you couldn't find this canvas though, you could use a printable or just use stickers and make a white background, but I think these are the perfect size to make gorgeous, like I said, ornaments for your tree. To make this look more decorative, I go ahead and add a nautical rope hanger. I hot glued this to the back because it is really lightweight, so I didn't need to attach it with staples or drill holes or anything. Very lightweight. And then I added a little buffalo check bow to the front. I love picking up my black and white buffalo check ribbon from Hobby Lobby. I know Dollar Tree had it in the fall, so I'm hoping they put some out for Christmas again. And then I'm adding in just little greenery pieces that I clipped from Dollar Tree floral stems and added in one of these tiny little pine cones from Dollar General. You could customize this and it would be so beautiful, I feel like, to make a tag for a gift, and then someone can always just keep their customized ornament and hang it on their tree from year to year. Next up, I am going to be using some fall lights that I had left over. I go ahead and remove all of the leaves, and I didn't mind doing this because I felt like the leaves were loose anyways, so I just needed that clear string of lights. So you definitely can use any lights that Dollar Tree has. This is just what I had, and I didn't want them to go to waste. And then Dollar Tree has these beautiful silver bells that are perfect, are the perfect size to go on these lights, but I wanted mine to look a little bit rustic first, so I do dip my paintbrush down in truffle brown paint and go ahead and just lightly dab that all over to give them more of like a rustic, rusty look. I feel like just leaving the string of lights clear with the clear plastic string just kind of looks more on the cheap side. So to really dress these up, I did intertwine them with jute twine or jute string. I have seen people do this before, like sold in stores when they really want it to look rustic, and it's just a beautiful effect and just really makes it show up nicer and doesn't just have like a plain plasticky look. To get the lights to fit down into the Jingle Bell, I did have to take a tiny little screwdriver and bend a hole big enough to just push the light down into, and then I tacked it with just a tiny bit of hot glue. Where I was pressing down on the table, I did kind of bend in the front a little bit, so be careful. You might not want to do it on like such a hard surface. But I was able to bend it back out, and then I added in some batteries, and these are so fun lit up. I think if you bought these from a store, you would easily pay 10 bucks for a string of Jingle Bell lights like this, and these are so easy to make for just a couple of bucks and really add in some rustic decor to your Christmas tree, especially on like mini trees. These are so beautiful. Next up is one of my all-time favorite Christmas DIYs I've ever made, especially using Dollar Tree items. I was just blown away But as always, I always have these leftover signs from Halloween at the Dollar Tree, these long beware signs, and they are such nice like big pieces that I always love to reuse them. So I put them together with some jumbo popsicle sticks. I like to pick those up at Walmart. And I'm going to go ahead and give this a coat of this mineral color. I love painting this chalk paint, but I do feel like I use so many of the neutrals that I'm painting everything gray. So I do like to bring in this warmer beige color a lot of the time because I feel like it kind of mixes it up a little bit. So go ahead and just completely cover over all of those. And then I'm going to make some little lines so that these do look like little barnwood pieces. I am using 2 of the Dollar Tree levels, and I just place them together. Where the sign meets is already kind of has a crack, so I wanted to blend that in. That's why I'm putting these on the edges. And I did draw these with pencil first and then go back over them with some brown color. I did lighten it with a little bit of the same beige color, but take a small little brush and go over the top of my lines. While I do have this paint mixed up, I go ahead and dip a larger brush in it and just distress over it. But as always, I love to take a piece of sandpaper and really lighten those up to give it more of a realistic look. I love how Dollar Tree puts out all of these little blank wood pieces, perfect to use on DIY and crafts. So I'm using one of these cutout trees and I'm painting that white, but I am going to distress over that with a little bit of gray mixed with white. And I know it's kind of hard to see on camera, but this is just giving it a lot more dimension and not just be so bright white. So it does go in with more of my rustic Christmas farmhouse. I keep calling it that, but I love like the barnwood during Christmas time and all of the reds and redwood and these berries and pine cones and the little wooden reindeer. I think it is so beautiful, kind of like cozy cabin vibes. And I just love it so much. So I go ahead and after I get my tree painted, I add some little faux floral from Dollar Tree to the top, and then I'm using one of the little metal words that they have, but it really didn't pop off of that brown color, so I did add in a piece of this red ribbon behind it. Once again, I am trying to make these little bells look not just shiny and brand new, so using some elephant color. And this is what I love about these big like mashup videos with multiple projects. You can see how different it looks like using the brown on Jingle Bells or using the elephant, and kind of see what's more your style and what you want to use. But for these, I used the elephant color, I let them dry completely, and then tied them on pieces of jute twine so that I could make these dangle from the top. I added in a little jute twine bow over the knot that I made on top of the bells, and then I feel like this is a really pretty piece as is, but what completely made this piece look so beautiful was adding this black little stitching around the edges. This is one of my favorite techniques on all of my projects. I love adding the little black lines around the edges or stitching to make it look like it is just really put together and finished. But I feel like this is so beautiful. It has a lot of pieces going on, so it takes a little bit of work to create this, but a gorgeous piece that is just so fun that I enjoy so much getting out and looking forward to putting up. And I love making these larger pieces from Dollar Tree. Next up, we are making a super easy wreath that literally is just a few pieces. The hardest part is just painting this truck. And if you didn't want that, everywhere sells beautiful red trucks right now. But to make this a Dollar Tree DIY, I do want to take the extra time to paint this little truck the way that I like it, which I think turned out beautiful. I did add in a lot of extra detail actually, because this is kind of like a little paint with me video, but it was so beautiful I just had to share. I go ahead and start by painting this with just red paint. I have to get it on the wheels because I am trying to get it in all of the little edges and little places that I can't hardly reach. And then I love mixing dark brown or black in my color, so the red color that I'm already using to add the shading around that, it just gives it so much dimension. And then I am painting the wheels. I'll keep going in and adding in highlights and my black little lines to really make this truck pop. The same goes for this tree. I painted it just with green paint and then adding in some black. I'm really making it have a lot of texture. And then you can see here I'm using my Sharpie paint marker. I love having these on hand to add little extra details. And then using a tiny little brush, I'm adding white along the wheels to make this look like it's all shiny and nice. And I just really love adding in so many little highlights because I really feel like it just makes it pop and look more like a store-bought piece. And then for the actual wreath piece, I'm using one of these natural vine wreaths from Dollar Tree, but I'm not loving the light color, so I did dry brush over that with a lot of the brown, and then I add in some florals to the top and hot glued everything down. I chose to leave mine plain and simple, but if you wanted to, you could make a little word dangle or add another piece like a little plank of wood across the back to add in a word that like the Believe Dollar Tree ornament or something. But I think it is so pretty and such a fun little wreath that would be so fun on a door or again on the wall. Just a really pretty way to dress up this little dollar wreath. One of my favorite things to buy from Dollar Tree are the ornaments, or from Hobby Lobby or from Walmart. I always hit up the ornaments first because I feel like they make the perfect crafting piece. So I am trying to find a way to display some of my favorite ornaments to make them look like nicer pieces than just getting lost in a big Christmas tree. So for this, I'm using a photo frame from Dollar Tree. This is an 8x10, and I put in a piece of the white barnwood scrapbooking paper. This is from Hobby Lobby. They're very inexpensive, about 25 cents each whenever I get them on sale. I did put that in the frame just to make sure it's going to fit nice, and I go ahead and take it back out so that I can paint this frame gray. This is one of my favorite frames that I picked up from Walmart. It was under $2, which is crazy. This is like a big piece of metal with the little details and the greenery and ribbon. I think it was so beautiful. And I wanted to share with you a couple different things you could use. I thought I might originally use the metal peace sign that come in that little Dollar Tree pack. That would be so pretty. But I thought since the ornament already had so much metal on there, I do go ahead and use some wooden letters and paint them white. It was really cool because I was able to clip on that little jute twine hanger on the back, so I didn't even have to glue this down. I'll be able to take it off whenever I want to or change out the ornament. But I decided to write the word home with these wooden letters. I do paint them white and give them a little bit of gray distressing, but I feel like it popped off more than using the metal word. And again, just a really cute way to display an ornament and make it like pop into its own decor piece rather than getting lost in the Christmas tree. Candles and candle displays always play a huge part in my Christmas decor, so I wanted to share with you all a way to put together this tiny little tray. I'm using a pack of these Dollar Tree glass tea light holders. I've already seen that this year they are putting out a pack of 4 instead of a pack of 3, which is what I needed for this project, so that is perfect. But I am painting a glass candle holder stick with white chalk paint to be the base, and then I'm going to go ahead and use a white plate that is already white, so I didn't even have to paint it, and go ahead and glue those together. And then using these little tea light holders, I go ahead and place 2 down and 1 upside down because I wanted one to be a little bit taller in the back, and then fill around the edges with some floral from Dollar Tree. I'm putting in some of these exquisite candles. I love the smell of them. They are such good candles. And I put them in the tea lights, and then, like I say, adding in greenery and berries. I also tried some of those icicles from Walmart, but I decided to keep it more with like my cabin rustic Christmas versus more of like the winter Christmas. But this is something, if you decide not to glue down all of your greenery, that you can easily pull off and put in maybe like little icicles or more of like white decor that would last all winter. I always fight with these berries every year. I feel like the styrofoam just doesn't hold together that nice. I'm always cutting them apart and making the white show. So I do take some red paint and cover all of that up and kind of smear it all over the red so it blends in. And then after lighting these up, I think it is so beautiful. And you can make a larger display using a larger plate, and these would be so pretty lit at a Christmas dinner. And then to making another sign, which is one of my favorite signs ever, I'm using this little snowman sign, but I'm going to be using this sign up and down. So I needed to cover up the holes. I like using spackle. Dollar Tree sells a spackle that works really nicely, or wood filler. Let that dry and then sand it down. And I'm painting the entire thing in some sterling silver chalk paint, which is like this really light gray. Because I have to distress everything, I'm using some dark gray elephant color, and I try to pay special attention to the edges and rub that across in the same direction and really pack on this to make it look really weathered. And then once again using my Dollar Tree level to add in some lines. This marker wasn't working the best at this time, but it didn't matter because I am going to be distressing over the top of it. So I just went ahead and sanded over that and made it all look really rustic and blend in with more texture. For this project, I found these little ice skates from Hobby Lobby. They were $3.99, but I got them 40% off, so super inexpensive for these gorgeous ice skates that I could have never made by myself. So I wanted a pair of them, so I bought 2, obviously, and then I thought they would be adorable hanging down off of this sign. I picked out this little love wood sign. It was about $1 on sale. I painted it with a very light color. This is in the mineral color, and I just distressed over it because that's kind of how the ice skates looked. And then I picked up this gray buffalo check ribbon from Amazon, so I made a little bow from that to cover up the jute twine knot of the ice skates and give it extra detail. But this came together so easy. I love using different ornaments, like I said, from Hobby Lobby and Walmart and everywhere, and I wanted to share with you a few more options if you did want to keep this a Dollar Tree DIY, but I think it is beautiful. I love ice skating. It always reminds me of the fun movies I watched as a kid, but I think it turned out really gorgeous and something that I can leave out all winter. The next DIY, I'm using one of these jars from Dollar Tree. I love when they put out these jars. They are perfect. They're like a larger size with a wide mouth, perfect for using like as a vase or a floral decoration. I picked up this greenery from Hobby Lobby. It was $5.99, but the Dollar Tree Christmas floral is always beautiful. I just know sometimes when we get to work closer to Christmas, it gets hard to find. So I just wanted to share that with you all. I purchased that on sale, so very inexpensive to go there as well and get your floral. And then from Hobby Lobby, I picked up some of this gray and white buffalo check fabric, and I cut a small piece to wrap around the jar. But Dollar Tree sells scarves and handkerchiefs and anything like that. They sell tree skirts that you could cut up and put around this jar. So definitely you always have options, but I love having a big piece of this fabric on hand because I love the gray buffalo check and I want to use it on so many things. So I got that completely wrapped, and then I wanted to add some little charms to the front. I feel like to really get that rustic Christmas look, you need to add in a lot of woods and like stained look pieces. So I wanted to create a little stain. I'm using just water in this jar lid because I'm not going to be using it. And then this brown color, whenever you paint it on a piece of natural wood like this, you don't get like 100% coverage. So it's just perfect. And like I said, gives you a stained effect without being all stinky and getting it all over your hands. So I tied a string around this jar and then glued one of those snowflakes to each end so that they could dangle all pretty in front of the jar. And then adding in my Christmas floral to the top, but once again this is something that you could easily pull that out with the red berries in it and put in something that would go more for all winter, but another gorgeous rustic Christmas piece. Thank you all so much for coming along and crafting with me today. Let me know in the comments down below which one of these projects was your favorite. Also, what style of Christmas decor are you putting in your home? I'd love to know so I can try to plan some videos that will fit for everyone's style. But thank you again for joining. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button and I'll see you next time. Happy crafting. Bye.